Hello there, I am Fera from Guitars AI and I welcome you to this series of tutorials where I'm going to develop a very basic ear training application using Python and Google Colab. So what do I mean about a basic ear training application? It's an application that will play back some musical intervals or chords, and then you need to identify these intervals or chords, and then you give your answer, and then you check if you could correctly identify these intervals or chords. We have a very rudimentary GUI here where we can do our setup. So we can choose the type of ear training, so we can choose intervals, chords, or both. We can choose if we want to practice melodic or harmonic, and by that I mean melodic notes are played one after each other, and harmonic they are played together. So we can have intervals. For example, you have the root and a major third. You can play first the root and then the major third, or you can play both together, and the same with chords. So it will be all the notes playing together, and the other one after each other. In the case of melodic, we can also choose the direction, so ascending or descending. So if we want the notes to be played from the lowest note to the highest note, or from the highest note to the lowest note. And here I'm calling intervals or chord quality, and that means what type of intervals, triads and tetrads we want to practice. So we can practice all the intervals: minor second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, diminished fifth, and so on. We can choose triads, and this will be a major triad, minor triad suspended with second, suspended fourth, augmented and diminished, and also basic tetrads like dominant 7, major 7, minor 7, diminished 7, half diminished, sus 4 7, and so on. And here you can change, you can practice just one, or select which ones you want to practice, or you can practice all. Then there is a playback. Once you start, it will randomly select depending on your setup, and you can play back and hear your answer, and then you can check. So let's do an example. I want to practice only chords. I want them to be harmonic, all notes played at the same time, so the direction doesn't matter in this case. I will not select any intervals, even though we already select chords here. I just want to practice basic minor, major, and augmented and diminished, major and minor. And here I will not select anything. So when we press start, the application is selecting a chord. Let's hear. So that sounds pretty much like a major chord to me. We can select here major, answer, and yeah, indeed, it's a major chord. So it's the A major triad, the root on the A second. So the intervals of this triad is the root, major third, and perfect fifth. This is the triad for all major chords. We have which notes were played. So the root is A, the major third of A is a C sharp, and the perfect fifth is an E, and here we have our musical score representing this chord. And we see that our answer was correct. So if I have chosen a minor, for example, then it will be a wrong answer. Then I can go and try to play again. So it's selecting a new chord. So this sounds like a minor chord to me. And indeed, it's a minor. It was a E flat minor chord, triad in this case. Now I want to practice something different. I want to practice intervals, and I want to practice melodically. So one note is going to play after the other. I want to in the ascending direction, and I want all the possible intervals. let's start. Ba, ba. So this is clearly a major second. Let's try it again. Ba, 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 ba. This is sounding like a minor 6 to me. And in fact it is the minor 6th above the B. We have here the interval, the root is a B2, and the next note is a G, which is the minor 6. So this is what I mean by our ear training application. And here we have a very simple code. We just have some cells to set up Google Colab, prepare it for all the necessary Python packages. And for example, we need to use Musicology 3 to display these notes here in this musical score. Then we have some importing some Python libraries. We have the ear training class that will do all the work for us. We have some very rudimentary chapter widgets as GUI elements, and we have some GUI callbacks that will give functionality to our GUI elements. We have a run app function that it's called when we press the start button, and then we have our display. So we're displaying our GUI and making the magic happens. So during this tutorial, I will go line by line of this code and we'll discuss everything what I'm doing here. So have in mind that this is not the best way how to do things. This is not the optimal way. This is a tutorial. So a lot of times I'm including things just to show different functionalities, different things we can do with Python. There are theoretically no pre-requirements. It's very good if you already know how to program a bit in Python, and I will cover everything. And there I can recommend 2 other tutorials where I already discussed some basic functionalities in Python, like how to import things, what is a class. And this is Python for Beginners, Basics of Audio Signal Processing and Machine Learning for Audio. So we will discuss a lot of interesting things using Python for audio signal processing and machine learning, and also this other series, Computer-Aided Musicology, where I basically use some concepts and explain more in detail things that I'm using to make this application here. I will also discuss things that I'm using here, but not so much in detail, and I'm preparing a full course on music theory using Python. So when I have a bit more time, I expect to be releasing it. So that's it, and I hope you enjoy this series, and I check you later.